Hey guys, Kelly here, and today is obviously a really different video. Normally I would do a daily vlog, but today it is a year in review, and a lot has happened this year. So much has happened. We kicked the year off with a terrible nighttime mermaid photo shoot with just a regular old camera phone, a smartphone, and it turned out bad, but I was proud of those photos anyways. And then we went later on, around my birthday time, we had Mermania. It was like the first weekend of January. And it was the first time I ever really met other merfolk, because in 2015 I met mermaids, but I wasn't able to swim with them. I wasn't able to interact with them. I was just wanting to, make mermaid friends. I wanted a pod. And I went to Mermania. I met so many mermaids, so many people, so many wonderful people, may I add. And that is when I even signed up for a ambassador program for Mermaid Carriel's The Brave Mermaid. This is actually one of the last copies I have because I later on quit the program. Though that is a completely different reason that's gonna go unspoken, but I started this and it was such a wonderful start. She gave me so much good advice. She gave me like a packet for whenever you signed up to help you get into libraries, help you get into like different schools and everything. So I was able to go and read this book around for the first half of the year and on to almost all of this year. So this year has been busy packed with The Brave Mermaid, which is an anti-bully program about showing your talents. It's based off of Mermaid Carriel's childhood, and it's so wonderful. After that, I went and I did a book festival reading the book, and that was my first mermaid gig ever. Of course, it was volunteer, and we kind of ran into some minor issues, but everything was fixed, and it went so well when we got there. I had got a cart so that I could be pulled around in, and my mom helped me, and it was great. It was my first time reading. It was my first time performing for anybody. It was just a wonderful and really great experience. Around that time is actually when I started my business. So I'm actually a professional mermaid. That's when I became a professional mermaid. I've been a mermaid for almost 2 years now with this tail, but I became a professional mermaid when I started my own business. So after that, I actually quit college, quit my job, and bought this tail with my college money. That is whenever I started doing The Little Mermaid, and I started going to my first cons. My first ever cosplay was The Little Mermaid. I've always wanted to do this, but I never knew when there was going to be events. My parents weren't into it, so I really had no way to know it unless I heard through friends. And every time I would hear about one, it was too late. So it was my first time ever going to cons, and I met so many wonderful local cosplayers here as well. I had no idea. Our city has so many cosplayers and so many conventions. I can't make them all. But for the first half of the year, I tried. I tried to make all of the conventions with the wonderful mermaid tail. I even got to be pulled around in a cart for some of them, and I just sat there and I had a vendor booth for some. So it was a really great experience, and I actually hope that I can do more because I got so busy later on in the year that I couldn't go to many at all. So hopefully next year I will be able to go to even more cons and have fun with my cosplay. After that, I decided it was Earth Day, and I did my very first contest ever. I actually hit 1,000 followers on Facebook, which is a huge accomplishment for me, for somebody who just started. And that's when I started selling turtles. So with these turtles, I actually, $2 from every purchase goes towards adopting a turtle, and we haven't quite made it yet, but we are very close. So probably by spring, I'll be able to adopt my first turtle. So that's really exciting, and I'm so glad that I started doing this. I was able to make my first poster, and even though it doesn't look too great, I still haven't gotten a new one, but I have my first poster, which I've always wanted a poster of myself, and it was great. And I actually got on with Barnes & Noble to read a story, and they even printed me another poster. So that was so cool and just so wonderful, and I'm so excited about it. This year I've also met the best of friends. This year was the first time I ever swam in the springs with other mermaids, which I met up with Bridget and Angie, which are Treasure Coast Mermaid and Clearwater's favorite mermaid / fence up mermaid. And that was super amazing. It was the first time I ever met them, and then it just led to an amazing friendship between me and Bridget. I've met so many other wonderful people, and have made so many awesome connections. And I actually even got to travel to the Caribbean, to Grand Turk and St. Thomas, and a few other places to go on a family cruise. And I got to meet up with my good friend Kelly, who actually gave me this cool shell. And I got to swim with her and her pod, so that was super amazing. That happened at the beginning of June. And onto that, I had my first parties, I had my first like pool parties, bookings, everything. I just had so much going on this summer. It was a really great start. It was even to the point where I had a birthday party every single weekend of August. Once that died down, I had a lot of free time on my hands, and even though it was slowing down, didn't mean that I was slowing down. So I had more free time, so me and Bridget made a plan to go to a different spring each month of the year. And we actually went to a bunch of new springs that I've never been to, or that she's never been to, and we got to go and explore, and I put all of those videos on my YouTube channel, and it was just so amazing and so awesome. Me and Bridget also got to plan a event for mermaids of Florida called a Merfolk Retreat, where we had people who even like drove down from out of state come and stay with us because we had some rentals available in Weeki Wachee on the river. And we got to go to a spring and swim around with each other. We got to do photo shoots. We got to go to the beach on the Gulf Coast. We had a cookout. We had a lot of fun. We even went to visit the Weeki Wachee mermaids, so it was really fun and really awesome. Continuing on. After that, I stopped doing the Brave Mermaid book, and luckily, just in time, another mermaid called Shannon wrote this book, Turtles Want Teammates, which actually fit perfectly with what I'm doing with my turtles that I mentioned earlier. So that was really awesome, and I haven't really gotten a party yet to read the book, but I'm hoping I'll get some soon, and next year I'll be able to really get involved with it. In the meantime, I was reading this one which my sister gave to me after I got to go into the classroom and read for a bunch of elementary school classes. After that, I got on with the libraries, and it was a whole lot of fun. I got to do that. I added more princesses to my business for the winter time because it was dying down. So now I'm not just doing mermaids, but other princesses as well. So closer to December, I got invited down to right underneath Tampa around St. Petersburg, where my mermaid friends were having a photo shoot. So Magical Mermaid Moments invited me to come down, and I got to have fun. I have a photo shoot. I got to stay the night. I got to visit some of the beaches there. I got to swim with dolphins. I mistaked them for sharks. I thought that they were sharks at first, and I was like, I'm just gonna casually walk away. And then she was like, wait, I think those are dolphins. I was like, oh really? Oh, I see them now. So then we watched the dolphins play, and we got to swim around with them, and it was a whole lot of fun. And I got this piece of coral that I found on the beach. I still haven't preserved it yet. You're supposed to preserve them, but I have not done that yet, and I need to. So at the end of last year, I created a bunch of goals I wanted to set for 2016, things that I just wanted to get done in a year. 1 was start my own business, 2 was make my own tail, 3 was library readings, 4 was to become a realistic aerial, 5 was to swim in the Caribbean, to create a merpod to teach ocean conservation in schools, and to get a tank, just so that way I can swim in it. And I've pretty much accomplished all but 1. I haven't started really making my own tail. I just decided to buy a pre-made tail and sew sequins on it. So I'm working on that, and that's going to be fun. I've already started working on that. It's not going to be done in 2016, but it's a goal for 2017. I did get into library readings, and that was a pretty big accomplishment for me because I didn't know how to, I didn't know where to go. All I had was the packets and advice from Mermaid Carriel, and I finally got it, and it was super fun, and it was super awesome, and I'm going to be working with the libraries probably all next year as well, because I've been working with them for the second half of this past year. I already became a realistic aerial, and I have plenty of videos of me swimming with it. And one of the big milestone accomplishments for me is to get over 10,000 views on a mermaid video. I didn't think that I would hit it overnight, but I did, and it just kept growing. So now it's well over 30,000, and it's just continuously growing. The next goal was to swim in the Caribbean, which I was so lucky to be able to do. And because I was only there for a day, Kelly was super awesome to meet up with me in the Caribbean Mermaids, and we just had such a wonderful time. I also got to swim in Grand Turk as Ariel, and that was super fun, and all of the fish kept following me. I was like, we were snorkeling, and I was like, where are all the fish? I can't see them. Where are they at? And it didn't help that I didn't have any goggles, so I couldn't really see anyways. But when I was watching the video, I saw that they were following me around. The next one was to create a Merpod, and although I haven't created anything like a non-profit like I kind of wanted to, or anything like official, I have found a bunch of local mermaids and mermaids throughout Florida to kind of have a pod. And I made a Facebook group for local mermaids more in my area instead of just throughout Florida. And that's been really awesome, and I've met so many wonderful people who either want to be mermaids or who are mermaids. I really wanted to teach ocean conservation in schools because I grew up in 4-H, and it's just something I always love to do, is to help protect the environment. And so to go into the schools and help teach about turtles and help kids like learn not to litter, and to, you know, help preserve the ocean and marine life, which is super amazing. And special thank you to my sister, who is the school teacher and who got me into the schools. So that was super awesome, and I can't wait to come back next year. The last one was to get a tank, and I didn't really get the tank that I wanted. I still got a tank, and I got a fish, and so I can't complain about that because I love my fish, and the tank is really awesome. So thank you to my friend Ariel, who gave me the tank, and her boyfriend Kyle, who went and got it and washed it out for me. And thank you guys so much for that. I originally wanted a really big tank that I could swim in, and I still want that, but that's going to be unattainable for a few years. So those were my goals and all my accomplishments for 2016. I'm already working on my goals for 2017. I want to get the tails that I'm sewing done. I want to add more princesses. I want to travel more. I'm going to try and vlog every day for the next year, and I'm just setting so many goals for myself that by next year I hope I'll have an even better and more amazing slideshow, video, and year in review for you guys. So if you want to check out the slideshow and the rest of this video, go ahead and swim on over to my mermaid channel, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, thank you guys for viewing, and I hope you enjoyed the video.